What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another FIFA 21 video. It is Monday, it is about 7:10 when I'm recording this. There wasn't really much 6 p.m. content, and by saying not much, there was literally these promo packs that we're going to open here and then one daily SBC that was interesting because it wasn't for anything that's in the game now. It's for the upcoming pro event that starts on Saturday. And I found that a bit peculiar because it's Team of the Group Stage promo. You would have thought EA would have wanted to give something regarding Team of the Group Stage. We was also half expecting icon swaps this evening, and that for me, sadly, let myself believe in a leak, in a hype. I haven't believed in leaks for some years now. I think since Footmus 19, when the leak came out for what was to come, and EA went out of their way to change things on purpose to not match the leak. Since then, it's kind of been silly following any leaks, but there was something I saw last week that had player objectives right. Oh God, we got kicked out of Ultimate Team. Had player objectives right, had the release date of certain things right, had stats on players right, had timing for certain things right, and generally had like a lot of things bang on, and it had today as the day for icon swaps. So I was anticipating icon swaps today. It's not a big problem that icon swaps isn't here today. You know, it's not like there's not anything to do in the game. There's plenty to do in the game. It's just I suppose I let myself get into the hype and believe it, I suppose. Now, off the back of that, obviously Twitter, not because of me particularly, there was a lot of rumors about icon swaps being in the game today. But off the back of that, Twitter had a little bit of a meltdown. Now, first of all, it would do EA well to let people know when things are coming, rather than just saying icon swaps will be starting in December. But it started making me look at and think about the content that was in the game and what we actually want from FIFA. And so I suppose today's video will probably be just called like, what do you want from FIFA? Like, what is it you want? Because there is definitely the case to be made that on a day that is midway through a massive promo, to have nothing promo related is a bit strange. But it's also fair to say that there is plenty of content out there right now. But it's just the way EA do things for me that's very peculiar. So I want to start off with a tweet from Pieface. And Pieface tweeted, I'm genuinely shocked at the meltdown from the FIFA Twitter today. My opinion, the past few weeks of content have been quality, especially from a streamer perspective. One full day as nothing doesn't make the game awful, of which, of course, he's absolutely right. And then somebody else responds to him about the content, and he says, we have non-stop grindable SBCs, some quality player SBCs, which I would debate personally. Constant grindable objectives, which he's absolutely right with. He says, if you're unhappy, then your expectations are simply too much. And that's where the question for me is like, what do I actually expect? And what do you actually expect from the game? He then says, when things are bad, I'll complain. Some people here seem to complain to be edgy. And then he continues on with, at the end of the day, it's just my opinion. I totally understand and respect everyone else. At points last year, the game was abysmal, and I was extremely happy for making videos addressing how pissed off I was. I think Pieface and I actually on the same day uploaded a video that was very similar in nature, complaining about certain aspects of the game. He said, this is just simply for my view on the game so far, and bar refs or goalkeepers, I've enjoyed it. And then he says, the last point I'll make on the matter is, in my opinion, money is irrelevant in this argument. Let's take the money I spend for content aside. It's the easiest I've ever been to spend nothing and generate coins and have simply a good team by playing the game. And he's right in that sense as well. You know, you can put together a really good team from just playing the game this year. The objective players have been very good, and I think one of the better aspects of FIFA this year has been the objective section. And so I don't really know what I expect from FIFA. I don't really know what I wanted from FIFA. What I will just say, first of all, from my perspective is, as I said just a minute ago, I find it very peculiar that during a big promo such as Team of the Group Stage, which this year or this time is a 1 week promo, and you ask yourself, okay, why is it a 1 week promo? The answer is most likely, I think that was one of the Team of the Group Stage players, wasn't it? Oh no, it's one of these new cards there. The answer is quite simply because it's not a 2 week promo, because on Friday it is highly likely that Futmas is starting. And so we've got what used to be the normal promos now back to a 1 week promo because something else is coming on Friday, instead of this being a 10-day or 14-day promo that would have had the same group of players just spread out between 2 weeks. Now, in terms of the player SBCs, I personally would argue the point of these are generally terrible value. I mean, the last couple of years, SBCs have been generally terrible value. I just think EA used the community now as a way where SBCs, if you go back to FIFA 17, I think when they were first introduced, they used to be really quality players for a fraction of the price that similar cards were priced at on the market because they were untradeable. You know, your trade-off was you are never getting the coins back on these cards. Nowadays, as per specifically the icon swaps that you can see, you are paying market price or even more than market price for cards. Like Hector Herrera as a live item, he's an 84 rated right now. It's likely that Atletico Madrid will qualify, so it's likely he'll go up to an 86 at the very least. Even if they don't qualify and they come third in the group, it's still likely he'll eventually get his 86 upgrade. And he obviously strong links to João Felix, and there's a few other cool Atletico Madrid cards out there that you can link him to. But this card is coming in at 110,000 coins. There are like 4 or maybe a few more than 4, maybe like 8 or 9 gold cards in the entire game that are worth more than 110,000 coins and that are tradable. And as Pi explained in his tweet, it's so easy this year to make coins, easier than ever before. And I think EA know that, and I think that's why they're sending us down this untradeable route. Everything is untradeable. Players are untradeable. Rewards are untradeable. Even Rivals rewards give you the untradeable option. Even the daily SBC today, it's just a simple daily SBC. Let me go to it. I mean, if we just look at everything, Conquer the Pitch, untradeable. FGS Challenge, that's a new one for today. It's an untradeable premium gold players pack, and you have to dump 9 gold players, 2 of them being rare, and then 2 non-golds. So you're essentially trading 9 players in that if you are putting in tradable cards, EA are winning. If you're giving away, what does a Footbin say is the price? 7k for this SBC. If you're giving away 7k worth of tradable players for 12 untradeable players, unless you bag someone who's worth more than 7,000 coins and then has use to you somewhere down the line in either an SBC or in game, you're at a loss. You could have just sold those players instead and had the coins instead of having the pack that you have. And obviously it's the chance of that pack that is what entices people in and why EA continually put things untradeable. For example, the league section, it just has 3 league SBCs right now. I don't know how many we had this time last year. I would probably guess around 8, maybe even 10. And they obviously offered tradable rewards and players at the end of it. It was way better. And so where I'm left at today is whether icon swaps came today or not is largely irrelevant. I just don't understand the logic behind a lot of what goes on in the game. If we look at icon SBCs, let's forget the fact that they're wildly overpriced and let's look at the timing on them. There's only 12 days left on the initial icons. The Figo, the Van der Sar, and was it Zanetti? Yeah, the Zanetti. There's 12 days left, so they've been out for 18 days. So 6 days after these got released. The Bergkamp, the Veron, and the Luis Hernandez. There's still 18 days left on those. So it's been 12 days since any new icons got released, right, in the icon SBCs. Now, maybe, just maybe, EA have got a grand plan of, you know, when Prime Icons come into packs, which is in December at some point or another, we don't know when, maybe with icon swaps, maybe on Friday, you know, it would make sense that they'd do it with icon swaps, but when Prime Icons come into packs, maybe they've got some more plans for the icon SBCs, but it's very strange that they give us icon SBCs, 6 days later icon SBCs, and then 12 days later, there's nothing new. You could easily, there's like what, now with Beckham in the game, 101 icons in the game, right? We've had 6 SBCs. There are still 95 options to go into these icon SBCs throughout the rest of the course of the game. I think you could argue that they could release 3 every 6 days and they probably wouldn't make it to the end of the game. Now, again, they might have some special icon day planned where they release like 20 all at once. Maybe they're not going to release all of them. Maybe they're just going to release them in certain situations and certain patterns. But the fact that there's no new content here is just strange. Now, again, like, it's not like there's no content. There's plenty of content. There's more, I think, than ever before. It's just the type of content and how it comes is what's weird. League SBCs is another one for me. As I say, I think we had probably anywhere between 8 and 10 League SBCs this time last year. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we definitely had way more than what we have now. We've already had the Libertadores and Sudamericana come and go. And they were there for 30 days. Obviously, the UEFA Champions League also came and was there for 30 days, and there's only 4 days left. And the Uber Eats and Saudi League, the French League and Saudi League, were there for 30 days, and there's only 12 days left, which once again means that there's been 18 days now with no league SBCs. And EA's kind of outlook on these was that like they'll come back again after the 30-day period later on in the game cycle with different requirements and different rewards, which I think in general could be a big win, especially if they change those rewards to being players and then make the pack rewards tradable. That would be a massive win. But the fact of the matter that there is only 3 right now that are there that offer these hideous untradeable rewards and no players is just peculiar. You know, if there was like 8 or 10 there again right now, it gives value to the grinding that Pieface was talking about. Bronze packs, silver packs, the upgrade method, dumping them in. Yeah, okay, you're getting untradeable rewards back, but you're constantly filling your club up so that then when something comes out like what we've got right now with the UCL pack, or more specifically the player pick pack, then you can sit there and say, don't worry, I've got like 400 untradeable cards that I'm happy to put into this to try my luck on these rare player picks whilst Team of the Group stages in packs. And then if I don't get anything amazing, but if we get some high rated, some 83s, 84s, 85s or whatever, we can then start putting it into some of the players that are there that I might like to work towards. So whether it's the Lucas Moura, who's currently coming in at 250k, the João Felix at 380k, which by the way I think is actually fantastic value. The João Felix, 380k for him. A super meta player, 5-star, 4-star, links with so many players, has absolutely brilliant stats. That for me is actually one of the better SBCs that we've got there. And then similarly, the Oxlade-Chamberlain, 370k for him, nowhere near on the same level. Of course, we made a video about him and talked about how he's terrible value anyway. But these guys, these two here, Moura and Herrera, haven't been there for too long and aren't there for too long. But Felix and Chamberlain, they're there for a long time. So if you're the sort of person that loves Liverpool or loves Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain or is building a past and present Arsenal squad or Southampton squad or whatever it may be, and you want this card, but you just can't afford this card right now, if there was loads of League SBCs available, it would allow you that opportunity to grind towards working to get this card even with untradeable rewards. Now, I think untradeable rewards in general are not a great thing for the game. I think they've caused this issue where the market has become so low because everything has become untradeable, or generally speaking. But even though there are, the Sergio Aguero is there as well, the Heung-min Son Player of the Month, who's also quite expensive. I don't know how expensive he is. I don't know where it would be. But the Sergio Aguero at 530k, that's a joke of a price, right? That's wildly expensive. The Robert Lewandowski Player of the Month, what's he coming in at these days? Obviously, when we made our first video on him, it would have been different. Heung-min Son's 800k. Crazy overpriced on him. And Robert Lewandowski is 360k. Bamba is 430k. He's even crazy overpriced. Robert Lewandowski for 360. Now, good player, will finish everything. 4-star, 4-star. Other than pace, actually fits the meta quite nicely. Brilliant dribbling, and of course you can give him the right chem style to boost his dribbling stats. Brilliant passing. You know, as a cam, he'd probably work way better. But at 360k, you could just buy an absolute multitude of different players. You could build an insane team, a full squad for 360k, and that's why these SBCs are wildly overpriced. So when we look at the SBC side of things and we talk about what do I want, what I personally want, outside of like Player of the Month things and stuff like that, or what I would have expected today, I would have expected a Team of the Group stage themed player today. Whether that be a Chelsea player, God knows they deserve one, or a Europa League player, or just maybe something a bit more creative and fun, maybe like those player pick packs. Remember the Kent and Forest pick one that you had? I know that was live items, but EA could go do something like that. Or the Rule Breakers cards, the Inaki Williams and the Bellarabi, they were genius. They were brilliant. I don't think anyone was upset with those SBCs, where at the end of it, you got a player that had different boosts in different areas. Give us something like that. That, I think, would be really cool. That would make people think. It's a bit more creative. It allows a little bit of a bigger option in squad building. And I think in general, it would have been really good. So in terms of SBCs, like whilst there are a lot that you can grind, I think the efficiency levels of grinding is considerably lower than where it was even last year, and even more considerably lower than where it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and specifically going back 4 or 5 years to FIFA 17 and FIFA 18. It's just not on the same wavelength, right? Then we come to objectives. Now, obviously for me, guys, for those of you that have been watching the channel for a long time, you'll know that my dreams for this game are bigger than they should be, right? The things that I would love to see in this game, the things that I think would work well in this game. Sorry, I just need to turn the aircon on. Yeah, the things that I would love in this game, the things that I think would work well in this game, I don't think they'll ever come to the game. There's literally a dream world for me and what I would love. But I think it's very important to note and very fair to say EA have knocked objectives generally out of the park. Yes, there's some bad ones. Yes, there's been some that haven't necessarily been worth the time. But you see, we made the video on these Eredivisie players, Gravenberch, Van Bergen, and Baumgartel. And I didn't really give too much credit to these players. I was like, oh, these are worse than some of the other players that we already had, the EFL and the MLS players, right? I think they're worse than some of those. I played this weekend league with Van Bergen, Gravenberch, King, and Scott Sinclair in my actual weekend league team. I finished 14-3. They were a joy to play with. And so I would absolutely love more of this. And this is where I think EA miss a big, big trick. I think whilst that Kingsley Coman is good, right? And of course, EA don't get to decide or don't get to choose who is good in the team of the group stage. And although they kind of do pick themselves, what players get the special cards and stuff, it is entirely their prerogative. It's likely that Kingsley Coman is going to get an 86 rated inform this week because of his performance for Bayern on the weekend, which kind of is pointless. Like, one of those cards is pointless. He's going to have two of basically the exact same card, which is a bit silly. One of them that you can achieve for free, and one of them that will be on the market, which is obviously a good option. If you can't be bothered to play for this card, you can go and buy the other Kingsley Coman. But where I think EA miss a trick, and what I suppose when it comes to the question of what do you even want from FIFA, what I want and what I'm loving the most is this section here, objectives and milestones. I'm loving going into managerial masterpiece and silver stars to play for these cards here. I personally would love more of this because I'm thoroughly enjoying it, to the point where they could have done this week for this promo, and for every promo, they could have done a team of the group stage squad foundations, and they could have just given 3 on the cusp, maybe young or unknowns or smaller players that never really get informs in the game, cards that would have been incredible for people to just play for and then use if they wanted to elsewhere. I don't think there would have been a problem with that. Or they could have done like a silver version or an under 21s version or an over 35s version, whoever it may be. They could have done something that would have had people just playing the game more to earn these cards, because I think this area, as I say, is hands down for me the best in the game. And in fact, I'll take you guys to my my Road to Glory account and show you just how much I've been loving the game this year outside of SBCs compared to previous years. Now, last year, I had played an awful lot of FIFA by this time. I don't think as much as this year, but I played an awful lot of it. However, about 60% of that playtime was in draft. Not this time. I'd say maybe 20% of my playtime has been in draft this year, maybe 25% or so. But most of my playtime last year was in draft because I found the gameplay to be hideous. I hated champs. There was no reason to play rivals because the reward system is broken, and it's still true to now as well. I think the reward system now is broken in general. But we've got 522 wins, 179 losses, so we're and 35 draws. We're at almost 800 games, right? But that's just from the games that count. Now, if we go to the friendlies tab, and this, of course, doesn't count the non-live friendly stuff, but the friendlies tab has got, and if you guys didn't know this, a little bit of a tidbit for you here. If you go to my playlist here, see that record right there? That is how many games you've played in friendlies. So we've got another 264 games, which means we have played already over 1,000 games of FIFA, and it's been out for 8 weeks. That is a testament to how incredible the objectives have been. And let me divide this by 8. We're looking at 125 games a week on average. That's insane. That's insane. right? The game's been out since, what was it, the 6th of November that it came out officially. So maybe 9 weeks with the early access and stuff. So if we put it to nine weeks instead, we're looking at maybe 110 games per week, right? That's insane. Now, of course, a lot of the wins here and a lot of the losses here are just like, I don't want to call it rage quit. I think rage quit is not the right term for the friendly stuff, but it's just games that weren't fully fulfilled games, right? Sometimes in manager masterpiece, I go 1-0 up and the guy just pauses it and quits. A few times I've gone against a guy and they've subbed on a Ronaldo and a Messi or a Ronaldo and a Mbappe, and I've just backed out of the game. It's like, look, I don't want to play against this. This is a friendly mode. I'm using a 77 rated Serie A squad. It's not that deep. I don't really care. So, it's not fair necessarily to say that absolutely every game was a full game, and even true to the main games, it's fair to say that a lot of these games on the record weren't full games either. We get a lot of rage quits in draft, a lot of rage quits in the early stages of foot champs, and it's only really rivals where I don't get the rage quits. And then of course squad battles, we played to top 200 1 week. I will never do that again. That's 10 hours of my life that we'll just never get back. But when we look at the objectives on my Road to Glory account, and of course if you want to watch this Road to Glory series, link is in the description down below to the second channel. When we go to milestones and we click out the L2 to hide the ones that we've already done, I don't have much left, right? I need 9 co-op wins. I need 1 more free kick. I need still 145 wins in the live friendlies tab, which, we're a fair way through. And I think this is the area you'll see now where I've done the most. We need to score in another 58 foot champs games and win another 182. And so obviously we've got way more wins in live foot friendlies. And then rivals as well, we still need to win 193. So the live foot friendlies section, for me personally, has been the best area of the game by a considerable margin, to the point where I still just wish they would do more. In terms of foundations, guys, we've done every foundation. In terms of milestones, as I said, I've done already all of those player objectives and stuff. And I know this is me. I know this is my job and I live on this game and so on and so forth. I haven't done Coman yet, and we're working towards Beckham's best. But other than that, again, everything here is done, right? We've got some stuff that I'm not going to work on because I don't care to. Co-op and Conqueror will probably just happen naturally. Welcome to friendlies. And this I suppose is where a part of this game for me is wrong again, is that everything should have a value. Last season, I ended up with about 150,000 XP. Now, once you hit 100,000, everything after that counts for nothing. It would be cool if they introduced some system where bonus XP translate to something in game, whether or not that's coins. So if you finish with 105,000 XP, you get 5,000 coins. If you finish with 115,000 XP, you get 15,000 coins. Whatever your extra XP is accounts for coins. Now all of a sudden I'd have a reason to go and do this, because I get 1,250 coins for just doing some simple stuff, right? Or I'd work towards my objective. But I think the objective stuff is so good that I just wish there was more of it. I wish there was more. I don't really care too much about SBCs. I've tried to stay as clear as I can of SBCs. And if I show you guys my team right here, although I've got some SBC stuff in my team, most of it is not. We've got the 2 icon SBCs, and then we've got the 4 player objectives. We've got Hector Bellerin, who is a player objective, and look at my bench. Mollet, who was an objective. Bojan, an objective. Alessandrini, an SBC. Delafeu, an objective. Fati, an SBC, and Atal, also an SBC there. Then we've got Rodrigo, who was an objective. Of course, Dak, who was an objective. And then Talisca and Jota, who were SBCs. But the mix this year of objective players on my bench or in my starting lineup versus SBC players on my bench or in my starting lineup is wildly different. And so we have to commend EA on that, right? I've got literally just, if I had a hat on, I'd take it off, because the objectives area of this game has been brilliant. I guess from my perspective, for me personally, I guess maybe it's being selfish. I don't know what you want to call it, right? But for me, I just wish there was way more of that. I wish there was multiple players from multiple avenues to play for constantly. And this is where my big dream, never going to happen idea comes again, right? I wish card types linked to each other no matter what. I wish that this Van Bergen linked to this King, because they are both the same card type. They are both squad foundations. Can you imagine how cool squad building would be if you could put together like if even record breakers and rule breakers and UCL team of the group stages, if UCL team of the group stages link together, think of the cool squads you could build. If these squad foundations link together, think of the cool squads you could build. If the what are these ones called, the league players, if the league players link together, think of the cool squad you could build. And even SBC's content and stuff, like flashbacks, imagine all flashbacks linked together. Think of the flashback squad you could actually put together and not be punished for using. It would be cool. But I came on today to talk about the game, really, and to not necessarily to complain, and I hope I haven't come across as complaining. I don't feel like I've been complaining here. It was more to pose the question and discuss and kind of think through the answer of, what do you want from FIFA? What is it you want? So I asked the question to you guys, for those of you that are still here, God knows how many that might be, probably about 10. But for the 10 of you that are still here, what do you want from FIFA? Like, what is the fact that Icon Swaps isn't here today? Has that caused you that much trauma to the point where you just can't play this game anymore? Or does it not really make a difference? Because the truth of the matter is, it doesn't really make a difference, right? There is plenty to do in this game. Even for me, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I really would have done with Icon Swaps right now. I don't need Icon Swaps. I've got Team of the Group Stage Coman to play for. I've got Beckham's Best to complete. I need to do Week 3 Silver, which will unlock Week 3 Gold. I've got to go and play 11 Rivals games still, because I've finished 14-3 in Champs. And I haven't got through all my Rivals games yet. So I still need to go and play. You can't see it right now, but I've still got 11 Rivals matches to go. You know, obviously I want to get to at least rank 2, preferably rank 1. Should be able to get there, but I need to go and get those 11 Rivals games done before the next big thing comes. So it's not like I don't have that much going on. And for me personally as well, for Project Team of the Year, which is something I think I started about a few years ago, where I saved packs for it, and it kind of, I'm not claiming to be the patient zero of Project Team of the Year either, but I never heard of it before I'd begun starting it for myself. But for Project Team of the Year, for me, guys, I want to go and play 2 drafts per day and save those packs for Team of the Year. So between now and Team of the Year, we're probably looking at about 40 days. So I should be able to get anywhere from sort of like 50 to 100 packs saved for Team of the Year, just to open for Team of the Year to see if we hit anything. So for me, there is so much to do on this game, and yet I still wanted a bit more. And I think Paya's kind of, I don't 100% agree with everything he said, but I think he has kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, there is plenty of content here, and not all content is made for every person. You know, there's something out there that is perfect for you that I would just never do, and there's something out there that's perfect for me that you would never do. And so to end off here today, guys, I will just leave with the question one more time. What do you want from FIFA? What do you want from FIFA 21? That, though, is going to be the end of the video for today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, rate, and comment. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.